This video has kindly been sponsored by CrowdScores, the app that allows you to chat with other fantasy football users and be notified of goals and assists from all your fantasy players. Download the app now using the link in the description. Welcome back to the Fixture Watch, the series that uses the official FPL fixture difficulty ratings to determine which teams have a good or bad run of fixtures over the next 5 game weeks. This allows you to stay one step ahead of your mini-league rivals and hopefully aid you with your long-term transfer planning. If you find the Fixture Watch helpful, then be sure to drop a like and get subscribed to FPL TV. The team sitting at the top of the FDR table from Gameweek 9 is league strugglers Newcastle, who boast a very nice run of games over the next 5 game weeks. Granted, they've not been in good form so far this season, but they do now have 3 home games in the next 4 game weeks, so is now the time to start considering them as potential differentials. The Magpies face Brighton, Southampton, Watford, Bournemouth and Burnley in the next 5 game weeks, avoiding any of the top 6 teams in this run. Centre-back Jamal Lascelles could be a decent option at 4.8 million. The defender is nailed on to start and has produced 5 goal attempts from 7 starts so far. Elsewhere, attacking fullback Yedlin could also be a shout for a budget 4.5 million. A bit of a left field pick, but I thought that John Joe Shelvey was also worth a mention. Interestingly, the midfielder has created 13 chances so far this season in just the 5 games played. And to put that into perspective, that's more chances created than the likes of Ramsey, Pogba, Schürrle and Goodmanson, even though he's already missed 3 games through injury. Impressive stats, no doubt. The next team towards the top of the FDR table, and therefore having a nice run of games, is Brighton, who head into these fixtures off the back of a 1-0 win over West Ham last time out. Now, their next few games are by no means easy, with 3 of the next 4 away from home, but I think the appeal with Brighton players is the longevity of their favourable fixtures. Brighton now avoid the big 6 teams until game week 17, so that's a long run of 8 game weeks with decent fixtures, including games against Newcastle, Crystal Palace, Cardiff, Huddersfield and Burnley, so for long-term budget picks they could be very useful. Anthony Knockaert looks to be their budget midfield option, with 1 goal and 3 assists to his name, and up front Glenn Murray is definitely someone I've been considering. The 35-year-old striker may not be an exciting pick, but he's ticking over very nicely with 5 goals in 8 games so far. I believe Brighton players are definitely worth thinking about given this extended run of good fixtures. A few other teams towards the top of the FDR table is Leicester, whose fixtures look good after their away trip to Arsenal, Watford, who have a run of 4 very decent looking fixtures, and then Liverpool, who now have a run of games that are definitely worth noting. Now, many managers have begun to lose patience with Liverpool, not so much from their defence, where they've been very solid, but more from their 3 attacking players, Firmino, Mane and Salah. And rightfully so. Over the last 4 game weeks, the trio have returned just 2 goals and 0 assists between them. For their price tags, it's simply not good enough. But let's not forget that over these last 4 games, they've faced Tottenham, Chelsea and Man City, 3 very difficult games on paper. Liverpool now face Huddersfield, Cardiff and Fulham within their next 4 games, and these 3 teams are the league's worst defences, conceding a whopping 55 goals collectively so far this season. If you're currently feeling stuck with Liverpool players in your team and are getting a bit frustrated, then be sure to keep this very nice run of games in mind, because given their upcoming fixtures, patience could certainly pay off here. As we move further down the FDR table, I think Fulham's run of games are also worth taking note of. Granted, they face a nightmare fixture away to Liverpool in game week 12, but notably, all their other fixtures in the next 5 game weeks look very decent. Now, we've already established that they've been hopeless defensively so far, but I think their attacking players like Mitrovic could be worth holding on to. As well as Fulham themselves, at the moment it seems that Cardiff and Huddersfield are the teams that everyone wants to play, so with Fulham facing both of these soon, there's a chance Mitrovic could return back to form. And I can't see these games being cagey, with all the relegation candidates desperate for 3 points in these. So now, let's move down towards the bottom of the FDR table and check out a few teams with a very difficult run of games. Rock bottom from Game Week 9 is Crystal Palace, who now have an absolute nightmare set of fixtures. Palace face Everton, Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham and United in the next 5, so could this be the time to let go of some of our Crystal Palace assets? As for £4 million gem Wan-Bissaka, he's been such a great FPL squad option, I think he's still worth holding on to. but more expensive players like Wilfried Zaha, for example, could be ones to consider shipping off soon. If you want to remain patient, then perhaps give him one more chance away to Everton, which, as an owner myself, is something I'm considering currently. But keep in mind that his fixtures do remain difficult for a while now, and there could be better options out there in this price range. Another team with a very difficult run of fixtures is Tottenham, who are playing away from home in 3 of the next 4, and their next 2 home games are against Man City and Chelsea. Many managers, including myself, took the gamble to bring in Harry Kane last game week for that enticing match against Cardiff. However, the risk definitely didn't reward, with a low-scoring game and now a very tough run of fixtures to come. Granted, this is Harry Kane we're talking about, and on his day he can score against anyone, but this run of games is far from ideal for Kane or for Spurs in general. So if you don't own any Spurs players currently, it could be best just to continue holding off for now, and perhaps consider them from game week 15 onwards when things start to get much easier for Tottenham. Also towards the bottom of the FDR table is in-form Wolves, who soon face Tottenham and Arsenal in back-to-back games, Manchester United, who have some very tough upcoming fixtures, and also Burnley, who, despite a recent upturn in form, now have a very difficult fixture list. Burnley have recently picked up 7 points from the last 3 games, so clearly they're hitting a bit of form, with Goodmanson particularly impressing. However, they're another side who play 3 of their next 4 games away from home, and their next 2 matches in particular look very tough, facing Manchester City and then Chelsea. So before deciding on bringing in some Burnley options, just be wary of their very difficult upcoming fixtures. So that wraps up this episode of the Fixture Watch. Hopefully you found it useful, and if you did, be sure to support the channel by dropping a like and getting subscribed to FPL TV. Take it easy, and I'll catch you all in the next video.